top stories for the hour. Chinese delegation says Ethiopia is attractive to Chinese investors. And Brazil's Embraer interested to supply aircraft for Ethiopia's domestic flights. Hello, you're watching ABC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. I'm Teges Sarnesa with the news. Do stay with us. A Chinese delegation expressed interest in deepening investment, economic development and trade cooperation with Ethiopia. This came as Ethiopian Deputy Prime Minister Temesgen Tiruneh has welcomed and discussed with Gao Yanglong, Vice Chairman of the National Committee and the Chairman of All China Federation of Industry and Commerce, in his delegation to Ethiopia. During the discussion Thursday afternoon, Gao Yanglong commended Ethiopia's ongoing development activities, especially in the capital Addis Ababa, which is changing significantly. He also stated that Ethiopia is attractive to Chinese investors in the investment sector. He recalled Ethiopia and China reached a strong consensus to further enhance the all-weather strategic partnership between the two countries, one that remains steadfast and resilient, particularly in the economic sphere. Abu Dhabi-based news agency says African people need to independently communicate to the world about the events on the continent through the lens of their values. The Embraer, which is a video news agency, has signed a memorandum of understanding with Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation to work together in different aspects. Jerusalem Betsiha reports.
The Abu Dhabi-based video news agency, VORE, that focuses on capturing and conveying stories from diverse regions around the world, especially the Global South. The agency has signed a memorandum of understanding with Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation to work together in different aspects.
Memorandum of Understanding will incorporate the working relationship that we have just established, and that will be on our side to provide content, to give access to the EBC newsrooms, all their platforms to get that content. And right now we are offering EBC a free trial where they can use the content in all their bulletins and all their YouTube and online platforms. Also, if we get opportunity to get content from EBC, our news head of Africa News has gladly said we'd be very happy to consider using content that we don't usually have access to from EBC. The initial part of the relationship is going for 9 months, which is also renewable, and we look forward to getting feedback from EBC on the content and how they're utilizing it, and also on where they would areas they think we can improve on the collaboration.
ABC also said this collaboration is part of ABC's efforts to realize its vision to be African media.
Such kind of agreement will help us a lot, because by this agreement, as VORE has has branch on 50 African countries, we can get content from these 50 African countries. We can also get content from other BRICS countries. So it will help us to talk about Africa with full informed content.
Talking to ABC, Alexander Kobia also highlighted that African people need to independently communicate to the world to change the image of the continent and be a voice for African agendas.
We need to join hands and tell the Africa story. Africa is not just about conflict. Africa is not about disaster. In fact, the conflict and disaster zones are minimal compared to all the development stories that there are to be told. I mean, just touring Ethiopia, there's a lot of stories that can be shared amongst other African nations. There are so many developmental stories, cultural stories which can be shared. And these are the ones which portray what Africa really is. And because we have not been able to tell that story, the narrative has been different, I think it's a high time we picked up from there ourselves, joined hands, and then told the African story as it is, giving the correct narrative to the entire world.
Africa has a vast content to be competitive globally. That's why African media outlets, including ABC, should be utilized as potential, Kobia said.
Africa alone is enough market for this kind of content without going outside. Already we generate enough content. I mean, for instance, we're in Ethiopia. In the sporting field, nobody comes close to the Ethiopian runners. Nobody, and that already it puts us in the map. The Ethiopian Airlines has done a wonderful job in making Addis a hub of this continent. Some of these stories are not told out there, and they need to reach out to the people. Africa needs to appreciate that we alone, without all the influence and without all the help and without all the judgments, can do it by ourselves.
Kobia called on African journalists to be more proactive to tell progressive stories and sell Africa's vision better than defocus challenges.
Ethiopian Aviation Forum has kicked off in Addis Ababa Thursday under the theme Propelling Global Aviation, Africa Connects the World. The opening session of the forum was attended by senior government officials from Ethiopia and overseas, including Director General of Ethiopian Civil Aviation Authority, CEO of Ethiopian Airlines Group, executives of aviation companies from across the world, and the renowned aviators. Being held from 24 to 25 April 2025, the forum is expected to entertain various panel discussions and experience sharing sessions, according to the Ethiopian Civil Aviation Authority. Brazilian aircraft manufacturer Embraer expresses interest in exploring investment opportunities in Ethiopia's growing aviation sector. The company's executive, accompanied by the Deputy Ambassador of Brazil to Ethiopia, Jackson Lima, were received by Ethiopia's Minister of Transport and Logistics, Alemu Simi. During the meeting, the minister emphasized the Ethiopian government's strategic focus on aviation as a key sector for national development. He highlighted the continued success of Ethiopian Airlines, which remains a symbol of continental pride, by effectively connecting Africa to the rest of the world. The minister further noted the presence of numerous private operators in the aviation industry and mentioned areas in viable investment for foreign partners. Among the highlighted sectors were aircraft maintenance and aircraft body manufacturing, which offers significant potential for collaboration. On the occasion, representatives from Embraer expressed their appreciation for Ethiopia's growing attention to aviation and reaffirmed their interest in contributing to the sector. They noted that aircraft maintenance, part manufacturing, and aviation training are core areas of their expertise and proposed these as potential avenues for cooperation. Additionally, the delegation expressed readiness to supply aircraft for domestic flights tailored to the operational needs of Ethiopian Airlines. Minister Alemu also discussed the planned international airport in the Bishoftu area, describing it as a transformative project that will further enhance Ethiopia's role as a regional airport transport hub. You're watching ABC World. A quick reminder of the top stories now. Chinese delegation says Ethiopia is attractive to China investors. Brazil's Embraer interested to supply aircraft for Ethiopia's domestic flights. That's all we had for this news edition. Thank you for staying with us. Bye-bye.